Hi, everybody. My name is Jamie. I am the Intuitive Lifestyle on TikTok and on Instagram. And I brought my very dear friend back, Caitlin Woolery. She is a clinical herbalist and specializes in naturopathic medicine. And today I wanted to ask her a very important question that I get asked all the time. And I figured I would have you answer it for me. What better than a professional? Okay. What is the root cause of constipation in adults and children? And why shouldn't we be using Miralax?
Okay, hi everyone, Jamie's audience. So let's start with what Miralax actually is. It's a polyethylene glycol, which is petroleum, which is byproduct of oil and fracking industry. So you can imagine how you don't want to be eating byproducts of oil. Has a tremendously high amount of estrogens, xenoestrogens, and all kinds of toxins, little microplastics that the body cannot break down. So what happens is that when there's poison, because that's what that is, it's poison. When we eat something that's poisonous or take a pharmaceutical that's poisonous, the body will respond by releasing fluid, water from the epithelial tissue in the digestive tract. And that water binds to the poisonous substance, which is the polyethylene glycol, and it will push that out. So that's what they're calling a laxative movement. It's actually a response to being poisoned. So it'll force the organs to push it out of the body. And it does bring temporary relief. But what happens is that the body becomes dependent on that function. So it represses the vital force and the natural flow of the organs. So there's an addictive / dependency that's created there. And then also it's just plain and simple, not addressing the root cause of why is the child constipated in the first place. So that leads us to the second or the first part of your question, which was, what is the root cause of constipation? So it typically starts when I work with children or even adults who are constipated. What I see is that most of them were not breastfed. So they did not get all of those probiotics to colonize and proliferate the healthy gut function. So it starts there, or C-section babies who did not get past the flora from the mother's vaginal canal. And then it becomes a matter of what food has that child eaten in the first few years of life. Was the food full of dyes and toxins, or is the food actually fiber? You would be blown away how many people with constipation, if they eat cooked vegetables, 10 servings of cooked vegetables a day, and eliminate the processed foods, are going to jump from, and sometimes even overnight, jump from 0 bowel movements to possibly 3 a day. So it's in the diet. The trick is in the diet. Really, it's that plain and simple. We also have the liver and the bile, which control the peristalsis movement, which is the muscular squeeze of the colon. Excuse me. So the liver makes the bile, and then it's stored in the gallbladder. And when we eat fats, the bile is released to emulsify those fats, and the bile triggers the peristalsis movement. So there's usually an issue with a diet and a lack of probiotics and healthy fiber in the gut, combined with a liver qi stagnation or a liver heat and toxic buildup. So the bile in the gallbladder are blocked from producing that movement with the muscle.
Okay.
So that's what you got. That's the root of what you have to get to.
Okay. And then, so what are some examples of healthy fats that people can feed their children or themselves?
Grass-fed raw butter.
Okay.
We sell that here in California. I'm not sure how easily people can access that, but it's crucial. Grass-fed ghee, which is a Ayurvedic Indian food that balances all 3 doshas, and that will really lubricate and move things through. Coconut oil is, so long as it's unrefined and organic. Do not buy the refined coconut oil dead. Technically avocados are great, but I'm not a fan of the processing of avocado oils. So just avocados in their form. Olive oil, so long as it's not cooked higher than its flash point. So I use olive oil for drizzling over salads and and drizzling over vegetables after the veggies have been cooked. Those I would say are the main heavy hitters of healthy fats.
Okay. So it's essentially the lack of essential fats, right? A lack of fats in the diet and toxins that are in the processed food and things like that. And yeah, because when using, so obviously a lot of my followers use the heavy metal detox with their children. They use the drops to remove the heavy metals and toxins that become embedded in the digestive tract and things like that. And this is a big reason why I wanted to come on here and ask about the Miralax, because the doctors are telling them to take Miralax, and then they take, instead they use the drops, and their children, they go to the bathroom almost right away. So it is connected to the toxins. And then we need to really work on the diet, because in America, we're just taught like this is what you do. You eat Cheez-Its, you eat these Nutri-Grain bars, you give your kids Kraft macaroni and cheese. I mean, I grew up on bologna sandwiches and Cinnamon Toast Crunch and eating and drinking Coca-Cola. Like, that's what I ate, so it's,
Our parents didn't know better.
no, nobody really does. That's the thing. That's why I want to get all this information out, because we need to do better now for the health of our children. So, okay, alternative for Miralax then, besides the heavy metal detox.
So that's a great one. Alternative is I say this all the time because I spent money on education to learn all these fancy ways of treating stuff. And it is as simple as your digestive health is nothing but a reflection of the food you are eating. It is not this great grand mystery. There is nothing comprehensive or profound about it. Your digestive health and your bowel movements are a result of what is going in your mouth. And so if you can just change the diet to whole, pure foods, but in terms of herbs to help this, the two benign and powerful herbs that would combine to address both sides of this, one is the gut flora, and the other is the bile, the gallbladder, and within the gallbladder and the liver. Burdock and dandelion root, because burdock and dandelion root both have inulin in them, which is a prebiotic. And so it feeds the colonies, and the healthy colonies will go gobble it up, and then they will proliferate. At the same time that it feeds the gut bacteria, it's also going to be flushing stagnation out of the liver and the gallbladder. So it also is a lymphatic flusher as well. So if there's leaky gut going on and there's toxins from the food seeping into the bloodstream and the lymph, those two herbs are going to flush that too. So that's a really simple, safe, and benign way. If it's a powder form that you take these herbs, you would just do a couple of teaspoons or 1 teaspoon, maybe depending on the size of the child, 1/2 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of each one. Make it, pour it into boiled water and stir it up, add some honey. It tastes good. If you get cut sift root, which is like chunks and squares of the root from like Star West Botanicals or Dandelion Botanicals, those need to be decocted, meaning you need to slow simmer them for 90 minutes. It's actually the most the longer you cook it and the bigger the root is, the more medicine is going to extract and the stronger therapeutic value it's going to have.
Okay. And so what about some foods that are high in fiber, for just an example, especially for kids? Is it oatmeal is high in fiber, right? But I hear two different things about oatmeal. And is it actually good or is it actually bad with just how everything is produced these days?
I would buy the gluten-free no matter what, because there's a lot of cross-contamination that happens with oatmeal. I'm a big fan of it, especially if we look at food and herbs is energetic frequencies, and the energetic or elemental energetic property of oatmeal is that it is soothing and lubricating to what Western medicine would call the myelin sheath or the nervous system. So especially if someone's like very anxious, or a lot of kids are underweight these days, need to add and bulk up and coat and get deep, like nutritive energy. Oatmeal is good for that. But I would say, to answer your question, that for fiber, it's vegetables, cooked vegetables all day long. Raw, no. This whole thing about raw energetically in traditional Chinese medicine, raw cannot be eaten unless you already have ironclad, strong digestion. It's cold. You don't want cold added into the body. You want warmth, which burns the digestive and heats the digestive fire so that things can start moving and metabolizing more properly. So cooked vegetables.
Okay. All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for breaking all of that down for us tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
All right, we'll see you again, Caitlin. Bye.
Bye.